When I first got the script, and it just shocked me that everything's going so wild and so crazy, and I've no idea how's everybody gonna do this. Are we seeing the actual things, or are we only gonna imagine everything in our head? And honestly, this is the first disaster movie for me, like forever. So I would honestly have no idea how we gonna do this. But once we're on set and Roland explains everything to us, it becomes really clear. I think it's really fun that we get to shoot this movie with our imaginations and everything. And sometimes we have all the settings around us, the environment, and everything looks so real, and we're like all the snows and blizzard and everything surround us, and we just got to feel the presence of everything that's happening, and it's really cool. I play Michelle. She's the intern student who lives in Fowler's home and living with Fowler and his son Jimmy. And she has a pretty tough childhood because her parents got killed by a car accident, and Fowler's really good to take her and like took her as her own and raised her. Also, she's a very brave person because when Charlie got hit by the tree and she went back for him and to save his life, I think that's something brave to do in this kind of situation. We had this Zoom call like before I he got me into the cast because he didn't know me first of all, and we had to do this small interview online, and he just talked to me. He wanted to hear my English and my accent because he wants me to do a slight Chinese accent on this role, and everything got so funny because he has his own accent too, right? So we got to communicate with our own accents, and it was really fun. And then he tells me about this whole story and how like what kind of person is Michelle and what she gets to do in this movie. And first of all, I thought she's only gonna be like a really small role in this movie, but then I found out that she actually stays until the very end. She didn't die, and I'm like, oh, that's a good thing because nobody wants to die from a disaster movie. That means you're not that important. So yeah, I guess it's a good role. It's a good person, and it's a good role for me. And this is my first movie in North America. So I guess it's a good opportunity for me as well. Such opportunity for me to be able to work with her, and she is so nice that I would never imagine a Oscar-winning actress will be that will be that nice. She's just so patient every time she does this. Usually, like it takes 15 times or 20 times to do one shot, right? To do one scene, and she's just so patient with everything, and going through everything with me, and I just think she's a really nice person. It's like small roller coaster, but not that intense. But we did have this track underneath the car, so everybody was feeling this bumpness, this bumpy road, and everything was so bumpy, and we were just so cramping that small car because we have like 7 people, but we had to fit 5 people in the back, so everybody was so squished, and all of a sudden, there's no gravity, and we had to like be lifted in the air, and we just had to pretend that happened to us, and all the ups and downs, and all the hitting from the sides, and that's pretty fun. Whenever a disaster happens, it doesn't happen just to one country or one group of people. Like we represent people from like all over the world. We represent. I probably represent like people from Asia. I don't know because like you always have people like me, like Zhang, like everybody else in this kind of disaster movie. So I guess I guess important to to let people know that we have to do something for our environment to prevent this kind of thing really happens, because it's really scary. I think it's the whole purpose for this kind of movie to come out and to tell people that it's important for us to protect our planet, right? I think it starts with the moon is actually an alien base that's not a simple moon that we see every day. In the core of the moon is actually a higher technology, which we call an alien technology that we wouldn't understand at the beginning, but then the characters in the movie, like Michelle and Charlie, was probably still don't understand, because only Fowler and Brian knows what's going on, and they didn't have the time to explain everything to us, right? So we didn't know what's going on. We didn't know the moon is actually an alien base. So we just know that the moon's coming down. We're losing all the gravities, and the moon's pulling us from Earth. And if we don't hold on to something enough, in time, then we're gonna all be sucked in from the Earth to the moon, and we don't know what happened to those people then. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to survive. We don't actually see people sucked up, um, but we like for me personally, I get to, and for Zane too, we're probably gonna be wired and to be a little bit raised or from raised above from the earth, and that's kind of fun to do. I used to do a lot of wirings before when I shoot movies in China, but never here. But I guess the technology is always the same, and they always use the same wires. So I guess everything else will be the same. But yeah, that's always fun to do. And Zhang is the first time for him to do this, so he was so excited that he could actually fly in the air, and he just didn't know what's going on, but he enjoys it. I have a personal connection to that role, Sunny, because me personally, like my parents got divorced when I was his age in this movie, when I was Sunny's age in this movie, right? So I knew that kind of feeling that he would have to go through at such a young age, that without a dad or mom being around, and being raised up with this kind of environment. So Sunny is he is a cool person, first of all, but he just went through so much, and his dad is not around all the time, so he blames him for certain things. So I guess he has this personality that he doesn't want to share a lot to Michelle, so he doesn't really talk much around her, but Michelle is willing to share her story first to him, so that really opens him up. I think that's why it's helpful for him to get along later in this movie. I think it's just a new idea, like all from, the disaster movies before. You probably see like all the environmental things, like global warming and all the things that you've seen already. But with this, you don't usually get to see people being sucked up by the moon, right? So I guess this is a new thing, and that's exciting enough. And other than that, I think there's definitely more to that. He's just a master of disaster movies. He knows the people who's going through emotions like this, and he knows like what becomes the most important once you encounter things that like this. It's the family, right? You try to protect your family, and you're willing to do anything, to trade anything for your family to be safe. And he knows that, and he knows how to bring out that.